Thanks again for joining me. I really appreciate you all. This is Mervel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, guys, so the title says it all. You probably seen the thumbnail. You clicked on it because you were curious what I'm about to talk about. So, it is what it is. No matter how many times I try to avoid these political topics on my YouTube channel, but it's coming to a point where I feel the need to talk about this as Congolese and as patriotic I can be. The least I could do is at least talk about Rwandan aggression towards the Congo, and this is not something new. So, without wasting any more time, I am going to allow a couple of minutes before some of you join the chat, and we can talk about this. Really do apologize in advance because I never planned my lives or anything like that, just because I'm still trying to figure this YouTube thing out. All right, so if you not available, that's fine, but I'm just gonna hang out here and wait for at least 2 or 3 people to join the chat, and then we'll get the ball rolling. All right, so when you join the chat, just let me know where you're watching from, and it'll be much more appreciated. Okay, so yeah, let's get this thing going. While we're waiting for people to join the chat, I am going to do something here, and then we'll go from there. Oh, will you join the chat? Let me know where you're joining from. And please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Let's make this video go viral, because I think this is a very important topic to discuss. And as we all know, that I'm a big advocate of young Congolese going back to Congo to invest and start businesses and stuff. But none of that matters if we're in a state of war, or if the instability continue, or the security of our country is still an issue. Then we will never have investors, and we will never have young Congolese trusting the Congolese government to invest their money, because nobody wants to go through losses or anything like that. Okay, so yeah, let me know where you're watching from, and please hit the like button, and then we'll get this rolling. I'm gonna hang out here for a couple more minutes and wait for more people to join the chat, and then we'll talk about this issue, because it's really, really important, and it's very, very serious. So, like I said, usually I do not like talking about politics on my YouTube channel. I try to stay away from politics as much as I possibly can, but sometimes my conscience is, motivating me or bothering me that how can you be silent when you have the biggest threat? There's an imminent threat that is posing, our national security, that's threatening our national security, and just I cannot be quiet. I have to speak up. Okay, I'm sorry, this is not the topic that you were used to on this channel, but here we are. No matter how much I try to avoid this, but I was watching the news yesterday, and I came across a couple of articles on Twitter, and it really broke my heart. It broke my heart, and it made me question a lot of things. Okay, because me as a child, growing up, I remember being either 6 or 7 years old when Kabila's father was, they attacked the country to kick out Mobutu, the dictator. We all know how that turned out. And during that period, hearing those gunshots and, how panicked people were, it was traumatizing as a kid. I remember, some of it. And I can only imagine the population of the east of the Congo, what they must be going through, like in moments like this. And I deeply empathize with them, because I know it's not easy. It's not easy. And sometimes I wonder, like, how long, like, how brave can they be? They're still continuing to, resist the Rwandan bloodthirsty regime, and this is really saddening, news or things to talk about, because you have politicians who are, sitting in their homes and not even saying a word about what has been going on. And sometimes I ask myself, like, as a Christian, do politicians deserve to go to heaven? Like, seriously? And, like, don't get me wrong, when we talk about this Rwanda, I'm not here to bash any Congolese officials or anything like that, but we know some of our, high ranked politicians are accomplice in this Congo Rwanda instability. And we all know the hypocrisy of the international community. I'll give you one quick example. When Russia invaded Ukraine, all European countries stood up and they're sending billions of dollars worth of weaponry to Ukraine to fight the Russians, right? Now, the same international community, they're acting as if they're condemning the act of aggression that Rwanda has been doing for the past 2 decades and a little bit more. They just sitting there and talking about it without doing anything. That's why, actions speak louder than words. Now that there are rumors we're signing, or maybe it was signed, or they're signing a military agreement between Congo and Russia, and all of a sudden, all these international, all these major players, they are starting to express their concerns, but they were never there on our side. How can you pose embargo on a country who is a victim of aggression? This doesn't make any sense to me. Check this out. A lot of investments happening in the eastern of Congo, or a lot of these giant big tech companies who depend on cobalt, coltan, and all of these precious metals in the east of our country, they signed direct contracts with Rwanda, knowing that Rwanda is not a producer of any of these natural resources, knowing that in Rwandan soil they do not have the precious metals that we do have in the Congo. In the process, these people are making billions and billions of dollars. And Rwanda, they've built a lot of refineries. And guess where all these natural resources are coming from? They're coming from Democratic Republic of Congo. So if you're Rwandan and if you're African, you've been to Kigali before, and you actually appreciated and loved what Kigali looks like today, you have to thank the Congo. It's what it is now because of the Congo. The illegal wars that they have been fighting, or in Congo, is the only way that made it possible to achieve the things that they have achieved. Because let's understand one thing: the Rwandan government that's in place now, it was backed by Museveni's government when they started rebelling against the regime of Abiyarimana, their leader at the time, before the Tutsi and Hutus massacre or genocide. I'm not here to talk about that because I'm not even concerned, but I'm giving you like a little background to paint a bigger picture so you can understand. I think it's RPF, Rwanda Patriotic Army is a member of that, okay? So this guy mysteriously ended up a general within the Congolese army. And I asked myself, how was that even possible? Okay, let's assume that, listen, I am not spreading, xenophobic, messages here towards Rwandan, because I do understand there are Rwandans who were born in Congo. Some of them, went to school in the Congo, and nothing can be taken away from them, because if you were born there, that's your nationality, basically. But the thing also is, being loyal to one country is one thing, and also claiming the nationality of your supposed origin is another. In this particular case, this guy has claimed to be Congolese, okay? He's claimed to be Congolese for however long he was in the Congolese army, okay? So when the ICC put their hands on him and he was put on trial before, it was sentenced for 30 years in ICC, guess what language he chose, or he was more comfortable to speak in, was Kinyarwanda. Kinyarwanda is never spoken in Congo. And keep in mind, this particular thug, it was in the same group that Paul Kagame and James Kabarebe and all these other guys were in. It was one of them. Is in ICC. So it's only a matter of time before the truth catch up to them. Back to discussing what's happening now in Congo. And I'll tell you what I exactly think. And this is my own personal opinion. Feel free to leave me to discuss this in the comment section, what you think that the Congo should do to address this issue. When it comes down to belligerence, the only language that an aggressor understands in terms of fighting wars is the same action they're inflicting against you. Countries like Rwanda, we should not have any sort of diplomatic relations with them, because we've tried this for decades. It's never worked. There are peace agreements in place. There are a lot of peace talks that took place, but somehow these rebel groups are still continuing to supposedly claim that they are claiming to join the country, because there's some bullshit ass excuses that they always come up with. I can't even get it wrapped around my head right now. Okay. The only way they get to understand the message or understand that our frustration is if we go to war against them. That's my opinion. No country will ever respect you if they understand your weakness and they know you are more open to peace talks than they are. At the same time, they are continuing to conduct aggression against your country. You are going to continue to have more casualties, okay? And I see what an argument where the argument could be made where we have to preserve our rights, we have to preserve our what they have done to us, so it gives us the reason to the international court. But screw that. This has been going on for more than 2 decades now. Uganda was ordered by ICC to pay us reparation for the damages they have caused in the eastern of Congo. The money is not worth what they have benefited from. Now Uganda is also a part of this war. It is a part of this war. Like this, they are taking over cities which who have a lot more. There are strategics to specific area where this illegal mining are potentially taking place, and these people are making a hell of a lot of money doing so. How do you expect us to be silent? How do you expect this diplomacy, quote unquote, to produce something which going to lead to a longer, a peaceful environment between both countries? That's just never going to happen. Congo is a country. Look at the size of the Congo. Look at the size of Rwanda. If we declare war against Rwanda, come on. I don't care how sophisticated they claim that their military has, right? I don't care how sophisticated like their military weaponry system have. That country would not resist a war against us. But we know we're the victim. But again, we are not allowed to purchase weapons to defend ourselves. Maybe we should go to countries like Russia, sign military agreements, buy weapons from them, and defend ourselves, to defend our territorial integrity. because this cannot continue happening. It is breaking a lot of people's heart. People's heart is bleeding very heavily. Children, women are dying every single day. And you want to sit there and expect the UN to do something about it? If you do not know the history of the UN, well, you're going to learn the hard way. Just because you're not from the east of Congo, it doesn't mean that you should not care. If you're Congolese, and especially you all know what I advocate for on my YouTube channel. I talk about investing in Congo. I encourage young Congolese to go back home to invest. But we have to understand not every Congolese is from Kinshasa. Not all Congolese is from Lubumbashi. Some Congolese are from the east, some Congolese are from the central, some Congolese are from the south, some Congolese are from the west. Okay? So you have to understand that we also have a lot of Congolese community out there that are from the east and they want to invest where they're from. But the reason they can't do that is because of the instability. That's why we all have to speak up. The peace cannot only exist in one part of the country. If we all care about that country, the government have to do a better job in securing the population in every single portion of the Congo. Period. Let me grab this comment real quick and see what's going on in the comment chat. All right, whoever is in the comment chat trying to ruin my life, I'm about to block you. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna block this freaking. Let me see. Yeah, I'll just hide the user from the channel. I'm not playing this game, yeah? We're here talking about what's very important, and I have some scammer in my comment section. Fuck you. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but some people deserve this kind of talk, because I'm not about to have somebody here that's going to ruin my chat, because this channel is very important, and this topic is very important, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people wants to hear what we're talking about here when I have some scammers trying to invade my live chat here. In London, I'm planning to relocate to Africa, and I chose Congo to invest in. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much, and shout out to all Nigerians out there. I love Nigeria. I've never been there before, but it's on my bucket list. It's one of the countries that I really want to visit in the future. And thanks again for your interest in the Congo, and I really hope the best for you. And the Congo is a country that has a lot of potentials that in the future, if we deal with this war against Rwanda, eventually leading to everlasting peace, this country will have a lot of investors, and which will attract more, people moving into the Congo, and we will love to have that diversity. I think it's very, very important. So thank you again. Thanks again. And I really, really appreciate you joining the chat. So, shout out to all Nigerians out there. You guys mean a lot. I put all of you in my heart, because, and this is also another thing, because you understand one thing. We all talk about unity of Africa. We all talk about how all African countries must unite and all of that. Where is the African Union when it comes down to things like this? The African Union is powerless. They can't even do anything to sanction Rwanda or to discourage Rwanda in the things that they have been doing against the Congo. We want peace. They don't. They want what we have. There is nothing that Rwanda has that we want. They're the one who are encroaching into our territory, going after our natural resources. Under no circumstances, one Congolese would benefit from living in Rwanda, but they have a lot of benefits being in Congo. And this is where I say that the government should shut down all the borders. No Rwandan allowed into the Congo. If you live in Rwanda, they give them maybe 24 hours or whatever the case may be, sending them back to their country, because they're not allowed in our countries anymore. Because these people, they have attempted many different ways to try to infiltrate the country, and they have been successful into that. But even then, they have never stopped. We've watched videos where people are coming from Rwanda, moving into the Congo as farmers with so many cows. And this was denounced, and some of them were caught. And I'm glad that a lot of channels talked about this in the past. And this is exactly the same practice that they, colonialists have used to actually, enslave a lot of African countries. They came here as missionary, and then eventually they enslaved us. They colonized the continent using the same practice. So Rwanda is like another evil copy of, Westerners who are doing the exact same thing and following the same examples that these evils have done, who have put Africa where it is today. And they take pleasure in doing that. You have to understand one thing. These countries that benefit from our conflicts, they will never, ever want us to be united. Because when we united and we understand the tactics that they use against us, which give them the power that they have, they will never accept that. They will never allow it. But we have to be more, we have to be smarter. We have to outsmart them, work together to send a message that whatever you were trying to do against us is never going to work. We are one continent, and we want what's best for our own continent. But you see, all these Europeans, right? They form European Union. Guess what happens when they're about to go to war against a country that's not sharing the same ideology with them? All these NATO countries, they join forces, they send one army, and they go against whatever country that doesn't share the same ideology as them. So they're trying to spread democracy around the world. Guess what they do? If they see a country who's threatening their empire, they go against them. Look at what happened in Iraq. Look what happened in Afghanistan. Look what happened in Libya, and so on. And there is a lot more that is taking place right now. And these people, you know how they have been successful in doing so, and what the tactics that they use to maintain their supremacy is by uniting and sticking together. Why can't Africa do that? We have the African Union, who is useless. We do not even have one currency governing all, African countries. Unlike Europeans, all European members, they have the euro as a currency that they use. If you're a member of the European Union, the currency that they have, you can use that in every single one of these countries, despite their own personal national currency that they have. Africa, we have a lot of different currencies, which is good, but it would have been better if there was one currency that we all had that could have facilitated, trades among countries. I see that happening in West Africa. I think like they have like their own West African community thing where like the one passport can be used to, enter one country and another. But here, we don't have that in most African countries. That's why there is always division. There is always wars happening and the misunderstanding. And they will never want us to to be together because of this same issue, Listen, as much as I would love to, talk about peace between both countries, but because of how victim we have been towards this bloodthirsty government, which is the Rwandan government led by Paul Kagame, this is not the time to talk about peace. I mean, that time is overdue right now. I think it's time to stand up and go to war against them. That's all we have to do. I can't believe that I'm sitting here talking about going to war against another African country, but they have been doing that to us for the past 2 decades. Why can't we do the exact same thing? And I think maybe they will respect us more if we do the same thing, because they're sending the rebels, right, that are causing mass casualties in the eastern of Congo. Maybe if we go in there, do the same thing, their population will understand that the evil regime that they support has been doing it to us for the past couple of decades, And that is the only answer, in my opinion, that they will understand. That's the only language that they will understand, which is the aggression. You cannot, this will not work. You want peace talk with a country who have shown multiple times that they're not even interested in peace talks. They benefit more from these peace talks. On the top of it, they are continuing to kill and illegally exploit our resources and still be able to get away with it. You know why? Because the UN is behind them. The UN is backing them. All these investors and giant tech companies, they have signed contracts in Rwanda, like cobalt, coltan, and all of that, but it is produced in Congo. Why can't they sign legitimate contract with the Congolese government? They will go and sign a contract in Rwanda, and we having all these militias. So you want to know why these militias exist in the east of Congo? They're fighting to maintain the economic, of these giant companies. That's what they're fighting for, is to ensure that these businesses continue. And this is one problem I have against the West. Like when it comes down to maintaining their business or to keep their economic going, they will do whatever it takes to make sure it happens. That's the problem that I have against them, and this should not continue. It's getting old and we're tired of it. Please share this live chat, share with a friend. Let's spread the message, because we want the world to understand that Rwanda has been killing in Congo for the past 2 decades, and they're not going to stop unless something is done about it. And the first people to stand up against this, to send the message, have to be Congolese people. Then we will let the international community get involved. So thank you again for tuning in. Until the next video, I'll see you later, because my temper is not the right one right now. Peace.